Alright, I'm recording. Alright, so yeah, this is the inaugural first episode of the...
Yeah.
I don't even know the podcast without a cause. That's what I thought. I thought of that today and I was like, it works because I want to be able to talk about movies, but, you know, I like other stuff too. Like, I don't want to limit myself to just talking about movies. That was the original idea, just movies and TV shows. I think I might have told you that, but... Anyways, I'm here with my friend Ethan Burns. Say hi, Ethan.
Hi, Ethan.
Would you like a beer?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Let's get cozy. So, yeah, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while. It's been a while coming. See how it goes.
So what finally spurred the decision to go for it?
All the cool stuff going on. All the projects my friends seem to be doing. Current events. Game of Thrones.
There you go.
That's like legitimately 25% of it. Might just be to talk about Game of Thrones. We'll see what this turns into. Especially with only, there's 2 episodes left in this?
Yeah, 2 more weeks.
Oh, God.
I know a lot of people that would be interested in talking about that on a podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like just about everyone I associate with.
Maybe like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it'd be good to do one after the next episode. Probably. I don't know. Like, maybe half and half. Maybe a little before.
It's going to end on a cliffhanger, though. I mean,
probably.
There's still going to be some room for conjecture.
There is right now. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the last episode. So we watched it here. You, Adam, and I watched it here last Sunday. Today's
Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday, for the record. August 15th?
I think so.
Alright, by the time you hear this, it'll be the 16th. But yeah, August 15th right now. So, okay, so we were watching... The very first thing, Jamie and Braun pop up out of the water like nothing happened. They just floated a little bit downriver. Neither of them drowned. Neither of them died. They're kind of putting... It seemed like they were going in that direction. Like something that bad was going to happen to him. Like Jamie was floating to the bottom of this...
I feel like I saw through it. It seemed pretty... A lot of people would be very pissed off if that was his death, if he drowned.
Of course.
And I feel like I was able to call it that's how their story would progress, and so I was not at all surprised to see that. Although, Adam brings up a good point. They just floated downriver. Like, what the hell happened? They were just like a mile away from them all of a sudden.
And everybody else that was like... and I feel like Tyrion and Daenerys are almost kind of like the audience in that scene. Like, you know, as we were watching, I felt like I had that sort of connection with Daenerys and Tyrion. Like, they're watching this unfold, like, oh crap, Jamie Lannister's charging at me right now. And then Tyrion's watching off in the distance and says, "You fucking idiot." And then, like, yeah, he like, Braun pushes him in, and next thing we know, they're fine.
I have several.
He spat
thoughts.
up a bunch of water.
Several
Like he was like swallowed a bunch of water. Like, how long was this? I don't.
My first thought with that is it was the stupidest fucking thing you could possibly do. Is pick up a giant spear and charge towards a dragon. Like,
right.
I get the intention, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's ballsy, it's whatever, but it's a stupid ass move. And then my other curiosity is, would Tyrion, having seen him there on the battlefield, and then he's not accounted for, like, I felt like there was a jump in that episode where they didn't know what happened to Jamie, and then later in that same episode, Tyrion's like, Jamie might listen to me. It was kind of like...
Yeah.
They obviously didn't drag the lake for his body, and at the end of episode 4, it was, like, presumed that he was drowned, you know, so...
Yeah.
It's a little discrepancy there.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yep, and then they lead right into... bringing the dragon back. I forget. So she says Dracarys, I think, right?
Yeah.
When she kills those 2 guys. So is that Drogon? Is that what she says? I don't even know. Is it?
I think that's
Dracarys?
what she says to all of the dragons
that's
to
right.
get them to spit fire.
That
That was
which
awesome,
isn't very
by
often.
the way.
But yeah, no,
that
yeah.
was super cool.
One of probably the cooler Game of Thrones execution scenes.
I
or
totally
like
thought
that.
she was going to burn that whole army alive.
Oh, yeah.
Part of me was down.
Yeah. Part of me was thinking, like, oh, she's just going to leave these 2 alive and kill everyone else. Like, I thought that might happen for a second.
That would have been interesting. I mean, it wouldn't really have served the same purpose.
Nah. Yeah.
Way to go out like a stubborn asshole, though. Right? Like, I won't bend the knee.
Yeah,
and then you get burned alive by a dragon.
And the last time we'd seen, what was his name? Tarly, the elder Tarly. There's Dickon.
Randall.
Randall's the dad. Okay.
Yeah.
So last time we'd seen Randall, Sam had jacked his sword and hightailed it.
Yeah, because he acted like a douche to Sam.
Yeah.
I'm curious what's going to happen with that. Like, why does Sam have the sword?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, will he wield it? Will he give it to someone? What's the...
Probably give it to someone, right?
I mean, it's the only two-handed Valerian steel sword, presumably, in the world.
Oh, yeah. That's going to someone, I think.
Maybe the Hound?
Maybe.
I don't know who could wield it, really, you know?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm curious, also, if Jon Snow will give Longclaw back to Jorah. Like, give it to him since he got... That's what makes me curious if maybe he'll get Sam's sword and then go full Ned Stark with the big old sword.
Yeah.
Because it kind of seems like, since Longclaw was a Mormont sword and it's like supposed to be the bear, like maybe he'll give that to him.
Mm.
Or at least they'll have a conversation about it in this next episode. Like, I was a little bit disappointed that all he said was, "Oh, I served with your father. He was a great man," and then he doesn't. There's nothing else.
Yeah. I think the showrunners are like they have to strike a delicate balance right now. They have to get like so much information out.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why they skipped the traveling. Like, do you remember the early seasons? Traveling was like a huge part of episodes. Like, span out the whole season. They'd be traveling.
Right.
And in this one, it's like Jaime goes from way up north to King's Landing in the same episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it more though.
A little, it's kind of unspoken that a little bit of time.
Well,
unless it's obvious, a little bit of time usually has passed in between.
The cool thing is it feels like the story is progressing at a quick rate.
Right.
And I would prefer that as opposed to them setting up for seasons like they did in the early seasons, you know, like this is kind of what it's been building to, so like let's move along with it. I want to see what's up with the Night, like what's the deal with the Night King?
No, is he going to say anything? Is he going to speak?
I hope he has something to say. He's badass.
Some icy cold words for...
Like when he looked at the ravens and they just scattered.
Oh my god.
Coolest part of the last episode, though. This might be the last thing I say about it. The dragon scene with Jon.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I mean, that's just like...
It was the obvious Targaryen connection.
Gave me goosebumps, man. Just like him looking at the dragon, like him kind of being unsure, but like I don't know. How do you get the balls to actually even try to pet this dragon? Like, where did that even come from?
It seemed pretty terrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this, they do a good job of making those dragons creepy.
Yeah,
like they're pretty scary face to face.
They had so many. This was one of the first times they did like a really really big close up, like an extended close up of the dragon, or like a side view of its mouth, and you're seeing fucking just rows of teeth and horns coming out of its face. Like that thing could mess you up just by hitting it, like just headbutting you, let alone just setting you on fire.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw its tail in the last episode destroy that scorpion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, its tail is pretty lethal, too. Not to mention the whole fire breath thing.
True. True.
I'm curious if Jon will get burned or something and have that same Targaryen trait.
Yeah.
Or if only Daenerys has it.
Yeah. That's true. So I guess if Jon were to get burned at all, like in general, it wouldn't affect him, even by dragon.
But see, he wouldn't have had many opportunities being in the north.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm curious if that will play out and if it will play out the whole... So apparently, or at least I hear from multiple sources, mostly Adam, but I think Philip as well, that Tyrion in the book, that Tywin's wife had an affair with him, an affair on him with a Targaryen.
Oh.
And so that maybe Tyrion is like a Targaryen kid.
Oh gosh, that's right. Yeah.
And so, if the three of them are all Targaryens,
they're the dragon rider. They can ride dragons and all that. 3 dragons, 3. Yeah. Huh.
It'd be pretty fascinating.
I could see that. I wonder how they're. Man, there's so many things. It's like, how are they gonna wrap this up?
But if that is true, I'm like, which Targaryen and like, what's the deal? Maybe he'd be the king. He'd be a great king.
Yeah. May just be a well-known Targaryen and just come as a total surprise. It's just.
It seems like that whole. Rhaegar marrying secretly Lyanna Stark, presumably.
Yes.
Does that legitimizes Jon Snow, right? That makes him Jon Targaryen?
It does, although some would say that I think Daenerys still has a stronger claim, but that's up for debate. I mean, I don't even know how I feel about it.
I mean,
they both have a great claim.
Theoretically, wouldn't Gendry have claim to the throne
yeah, him too. Yeah, there's...
So...
yeah. yeah. It's tough. It's like that's and how it's all going to become revealed. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're all going to find. They're going to find this all out. But yeah, like I said, I think the show writers are trying to find like a delicate balance this season. They're trying to get so much information across, and they know people. Just as many people would be complaining, "Oh, it's just a filler episode." But the last couple episodes have been pretty heavy on content, action.
This whole season has looked great, too.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like the budget has gone up hardcore.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They ended up... They waited, I think, to like actually shoot in snowier conditions, too. Like,
really?
Yeah, that's part of the reason it took so long to come out this season. Was
I was thinking that...
real winter.
When you see, you know, like, Jon Snow and he's on a beach or something, he must love that. As opposed to, you know, in like season 3 when they're way up in the ice.
Yeah.
And you're filming for months at a time and it's freezing.
That's true. That's true.
It has to be so nice these seasons where it's just not ice, not snow.
Well, he's back there now, but yeah, no, the time that they spend in Dragonstone, where I wonder where they filmed Dragonstone. It was like
I think that it was somewhere in Ireland or Scotland.
I can see that.
I think my parents have been there.
I could see that. You know, I heard, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet, or maybe it still will happen, or I don't know. But I heard Conor McGregor, who is fighting Floyd Mayweather on the 26th of this month, was supposed to be in this season.
Wait, really? Well, that's that soon? That fight is that soon?
It's like less than 2 weeks now.
Wow.
The 26th of August, yeah.
I cannot wait to see that. But like, even if, no matter what happens, this is going to be a great fight.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I was just invited, actually, by my birth mom and her husband and all that. They invited me to, like, they're doing a party. I have friends that are doing it at their house. They're playing it at the Atascadero movie theater.
Really?
There's like movie theaters that are selling tickets to this. You can go see it on the big screen in Atascadero.
Oh man, that's the one that serves beer and all that stuff. Yeah. What the hell is that place called?
Oh, Galaxy Theaters. Yeah.
Nice.
What
are the tickets going for?
I don't know. I haven't checked, but I think I'm going to be watching it at a friend's house either way. But that's what I'm letting people know who are looking for a spot to watch it.
That is great.
I don't know if my friend is going to have a viewing party or whatnot. But
I remember watching Floyd versus Pacquiao while I was living in LA. At my buddy Riley's house, and that fight was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, that was the general consensus, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't really like decision fights. You know, like I want to see somebody get knocked the fuck out.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Oh, I think we all do. Yeah, I think that's the appeal of, and that's how this fight got sold, is on Conor McGregor's his striking powers, his one punch knockout ability.
I'd be very curious to see if someone gets knocked out in this.
Oh yeah,
be amazing.
Wouldn't be Conor. I don't know if Floyd could knock out Conor. He might be able to. It's hard to say. It really is. It's such a clash of. It's a 28-year-old versus a 40-year-old.
It's funny because I've heard a lot of different opinions, and there's several people I know that do not have any respect for Floyd Mayweather.
Oh sure.
But
a lot of people want to watch him lose.
I think he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Totally.
I mean, you don't go on this long of a winning streak without having some tricks up your sleeve. So.
Have you heard about some of this drama with Conor was sparring with Paulie Maligiani, the Italian boxer. Yeah, he'd hired this guy to come in and be like a sparring partner, and it's hard to tell exactly what is going on with that. Like the guy, I guess, sparred with him twice. He's a former world champion boxer as well, and he sparred with him twice. And I guess, I don't know, it's like they of course, they released like snippets of it. They haven't released the whole video, but one snippet showed Conor just absolutely rocking this guy, like just punching the sweat right off his face like a legitimately strong punch.
Like a scene from Rocky?
Yeah, and there's this debate now over whether, I guess he fell down, Paulie fell down, and there's a debate over whether or not it was a knockdown from Conor or a push, like where he accidentally pushed him like in some kind of like clinch or something like that.
Or some kind of a like stunt.
Yeah,
you know, it
could all be some stunt. It could be to sell their fight if they're going to fight after this. Yeah. Like, say if Conor's somewhat successful.
Is that McGregor's plan to become a full-time boxer?
I don't know. I feel like there isn't a whole lot left for him in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
There's like, he wants to fight. I imagine he wants to fight Nate Diaz. There's the trilogy fight. They both have one win. it was really hard for him. That one loss was really hard for him. He was like 15-0, I think, when he lost to Nate Diaz the first time, and it was a submission loss in the second round. And he had gassed himself out a little bit too much, throwing big punches and kicks in the first and beginning of the second round. The second fight though, he was methodical and was really well done. He used
what's his weight class?
They were fighting at welterweight, which is 170.
Yeah. Okay.
But Conor is he was the featherweight champion at 145. And he was stripped of that belt for not defending it. He never defended it. He beat Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, took that belt. He had kind of climbed up that division, fairly quickly, just KO after KO, first round, after first round, KO for the most part. So then he gets the featherweight belt. He then was supposed to, I think, hop into the lightweight division and fight maybe for the lightweight belt and try to be a 2-division champ, something along those lines. But then he, whoever was supposed to fight him, I think the champ had to, Rafael dos Anjos, I think he had to pull out. And then on short notice, 11 days notice, Nate Diaz, who had talked a little bit of shit to Conor in his last post-fight press conference, he called him out, and all this. On 11 days notice, he takes the fight. I remember he was like taking tequila shots in Mexico or something, I think, when he found out. But he was like, yeah, he took the fight 11 days notice, and he beat Conor in the second round by submission.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite fights to rewatch. It's pretty short. It's like less than 10 minutes, but it's definitely I mean, when Conor was just getting beat up so bad, he had used so much of his energy that he went for a sloppy takedown in the last minute or two of the round, just out of desperation. He was getting rocked, and Nate Diaz is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so Conor, goes for the sloppy takedown. Nate immediately, his jiu-jitsu kicks in, and within 20 seconds has tapped him out. Like, he's just all around better than Conor on the ground, I think. Conor's jiu-jitsu, does jiu-jitsu as well. I think he's like a purple belt or something, maybe a brown belt. But, not quite the same caliber.
Isn't it interesting that brown is, like, so close to prestigious? Like, I feel like a brown belt, like, I feel like that should be the first belt. That or yellow belt. Maybe there's some interesting ones.
Oh, yeah. Different martial arts do it differently. Like when I did karate when I was younger, it was I went like white, yellow, orange, purple, blue, green, brown, black. Yeah, that's what it was.
I think Philip was a brown belt.
Do you know what he was doing?
Karate.
So yeah, he probably went through a lot of belts before he got to brown belt.
Well, he did it for years and years and years.
Oh sure, yeah.
Like he did it for a long ass time. I think he did it in not professionally, obviously, but he did it competitively.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
He kicked some ass in a karate, but it's funny. It just reminds me of Archer, where he's like the Dane Cook of martial arts. No, we don't use karate.
Oh man, yeah, no, I did karate when I was younger too. It's, and looking back now, like it was just such an I don't even know the word for it, but it was like not very practical. It was like learning long, elaborate sequences where you're like to the left, to the right, behind you, to the front, and just like doing that, and it was just not very practical.
With a lot of these fighting styles, isn't it just about like muscle memory for combos?
Yeah,
so that you're kind of training yourself to be able to do these combos.
Exactly. Yeah. I think in jiu-jitsu though, I was going to mention in jiu-jitsu the belt system is just it's 5 belts. It's white, blue, purple, brown, and black, and then I guess a red belt. I guess is even more prestigious than a black belt. I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but yeah, no, and then they have like you get stripes as you progress in each belt, but it takes forever to go from belt to belt. Like solid, some people I think go a couple of years before they get their blue belt from white belt. So, but yeah, I guess what were we talking? So Conor and Floyd, that's happening the 26th.
That will be good.
That'll be fun. That'll be definitely fun for sure. And if I remember correctly, I believe you have a show coming up even sooner.
Indeed.
This week.
This Friday, if you're listening to this, but if you're listening to it in the future, you probably missed it. In which case, bummer.
Well, we'll tell them on. I'm going to put something on Facebook, and we'll get the word out a little bit.
That's right. August 18th at the Guild Hall in Slough. I think it's 2880 Broad Street, San Luis Obispo. I don't remember what the zip code is, but it was formerly the Grange Hall.
Oh, right. I've never seen a show there. I'm
It's
excited.
an awesome little hall.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's all hardwood. Kind of reminded me of like Back to the Future, the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. It's kind of like that minus the panache.
Okay.
It didn't really have the. It has the presentation, but I mean it doesn't have like mermaids and shit like that.
Gotcha.
Hanging around, but it was pretty cool, man. I think it's gonna be a fun show.
Nice.
I just hope people come out and buy this record.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing a copy on my record player. I'm looking at off in the distance over there. That thing doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It hasn't gotten much use in a while. It's kind of more. I have some crap playing on top of it. I haven't listened to records in a while for whatever reason. I don't know why. I've been listening to a lot of music in my car, but
it's nice the like texture and the sound and like the feel of it is really cool. It's funny though because a lot of the time you're right. I feel like being on the go, iPod is a lot easier.
I know, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I love records. The sound is really cool.
Yeah, no, I've got a good collection. I've listened to them, and it just takes like a certain mood, It's just like kind of laying around. I just cleaned my room. It's like a summer day. It's my day off. Oh, I'm gonna pop a record on.
It's cool though because like I agree, and that was kind of always the way that I would, listen. I think the first time I got a record, I was like 15 or 16. I found Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. Right. There was this, I don't even think it's there anymore. I was living off of 9th Street in Grover Beach, South 9th, and there was this thrift store at the time called Green Bargain Thrift. And it was like right up the street from my house. It was probably like a block, maybe 2 blocks. And they had a bunch of, for a while, Dylan records for super cheap. And so I pretty much bought them all up. And those were the first records I got. Wow. And so like listening to records a bunch and that whole sound, it's a very distinct sound. It kind of has this old, warm crackle to it.
The little crackle.
And so it's cool to be able to listen to like yourself on that,
Right?
It's like, it's like it's weird because in your head or like in your ears, you're transporting yourself back in time.
Yeah.
But it was made like a year ago. So it's not, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. But.
Right. No, I've got some Super 8, some cassettes of their Super 8 cassettes that I've shot, and I'm waiting to get processed and all that. But yeah, just the old formats, man. It's just something kind of cool about it, the little extra steps and just the old way of doing things.
You should film the show in Super 8.
That'd be rad.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I want to film, or I want to plug into the audio, plug into like the sound system and
record
the audio.
Oh,
so
cool, nice.
It'd be cool if there was some kind of sweet video, put the audio to it, combine forces.
Well, I know a guy.
Oh, well, there you go.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, people who are listening, it's me. I could probably I've filmed Ethan and the Ragged Jubilee a number of times in the last couple years. It's been a little while. I feel like I try to not overdo it with filming bands, and I like to film in a different location each time.
What was the last one? Mr. Rick's?
Yes, the Mr. Rick's show. You guys played for like 4 hours.
Yeah, long time.
Oh my gosh, that was
3
incredible.
hours.
Yeah.
Because usually Mr. Rick's is like a 3-hour set, and I don't think we took a break. Maybe we did, so we probably played like hour and a half, or hour.
Something like that.
25. Anyway, however it shook down, you do long ass sets there.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because with the Jubilee, unlike with most bands, we can just keep playing because we have that many songs.
Yeah.
And then we have like covers backlogged and shit, so you don't have to take a bunch of breaks and you can kind of get through it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It feels faster when you're like euphorically playing.
Yeah. It was such a treat for like people who've been fans for a while. I'm sure people were just kind of. I feel like it happens a lot of times. People show up and you guys start playing. They're just like, "What the fuck? Whoa!" I noticed that with first time listeners. Just like, wide-eyed, like, what on earth?
I would imagine with noise alone.
Yeah.
We're definitely a high decibel band.
Exactly, it catches people off guard. But that show was such a treat, I think, for people who listened to you guys for a long time. You played a lot of the hits.
Yeah,
some early stuff.
It's interesting, and that's kind of the thing that I'm curious about with this show coming up on Friday is I don't know what old songs people want to hear.
Oh.
It's weird because I don't really play them anymore. You know, like we very rarely dip into the old pool. Sometimes people will shout out, like, I think people shout out High Horse. Or like, sometimes, mostly friends of mine, to be an asshole, will shout out, like, Mr. Sorry or something like that.
They gotta be a good friend. Cause that's an old
occasionally
song.
you get, like, Shelter in the Main Line or something, but I feel like people don't really call out for stuff very often, and so I don't know what to play for them, so I don't.
Only the main one, the one I would probably call out, and I guess I don't have to because I'm telling you now, huh? So I won't do it, but I will now. Woman on My Mind, and I think I've said that to you a few times. Like you played that one, I'm like, that was my favorite.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd like to play that song.
That one, okay. So tell me about that one. So that one was made in kind of an interesting transitional period for the band, wasn't it? Because I feel like I remember seeing.
Yeah.
There was never like a recording of it. The first thing I ever saw was you. You guys like at South by Southwest, like a video of you guys playing it live or something?
Yeah, so that song was one of a collection of, so that whole, kind of like when we moved down to LA and we were doing the whole industry deal and rocking and rolling. Zach and I, my brother Zach, older brother by 2 years, for anybody that doesn't know him, we had a band called Rebel Empire.
That's right.
And so that was one of, like, probably 4 or 5 songs that we had just kind of come up with. So, like, during the time before Ragged Jubilee, like, moved down to LA and stuff, everybody was in different bands. So, like, Chandler and Austin had Good Brother.
Excellent, by the way. Please give them a listen.
Yeah, for real. Check out Preface to the Haunting. It's awesome. And then Aaron and I were playing in a band called Magazine. No, not Magazine Dirty. What am I talking about? Me and Aaron were playing in a band with Mike Branham called Dirty Deluxe, which was like this kind of psychedelic. It was more psychedelic than Black Sabbath, but it was super dark like that. It was fun. Mm-hmm. And then, so at that point in time, everybody was kind of delving into stuff, and before or after practices, usually I'd have my brother drive me because I don't think I had a car at that point in time. Or maybe even my license. And so he would drive me into SLO a lot of the time where we would practice by the airport, and then we would wind up jamming. And so we wrote that, Apparition Blues, Crying Over What I Never Had, and I think maybe for the Ragged songs that was it.
I feel like there was the Needle one.
See, that was while we were jamming with him. So
okay.
So for that, then everything kind of got weird and like I don't know. Everything got weird because I wanted to move out of town really badly, and I wanted to, like, I don't know, give it a run. You know, sure. We had kind of this unique opportunity to, like, go and live in LA and, like, pursue the musician thing. Mm-hmm. And that didn't really, like, work practically for everybody in life at that point in time, which, you know, it makes sense now, but I think at the time I was a little bit younger and kind of hastier. And so we kind of, like, decided as a group that we were going to do this thing. And so Zach wound up coming down and playing drums with us, and that was cool. It worked for a while. I think when you're doing that grind, everybody wants something else. I think probably the easiest way to sum it up without getting too personal or anything like that would be to say that once you get into that industry machine, so to speak, you kind of get asked questions and have to find answers to them that you never really thought about before in terms of profession or career, or like how seriously you're taking yourself. And I think that for a lot of people, when you get put into a new situation where you kind of have to like define yourself or find the answer really quickly.
Yeah.
It's confusing and it's like easy to withdraw.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody kind of wanted different things, and that's why like when we came back from LA, we all kind of went on hiatus and did our own things for a while, you know.
Sure. Industry can, I mean, it's that whole thing coming into play. I mean, I just imagine there's just a whole lot of baggage that comes with that. Having, like you said, trying to like label yourself or pin yourself down.
Well, see, that's I don't really feel like that should come into somebody's mind very much if you're like trying to be creative or what have you.
Yeah, sure.
But like, there's people in the industry that it's their job to think about only that.
Yeah, marketing
so it's
you.
Like, yeah, and
like booking shows.
There's
like
kind of these worlds that collide that maybe sometimes work artistically and creatively in a business way that, you know, like the machine can turn and the wheels can keep going.
Sure.
And then sometimes it's kind of like you just have the wrong personalities together, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really know how to explain it other than that for me, I had a lot of fun and learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Learning opportunity, if anything, you know. I mean, yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, you don't regret it. I'm sure you're glad
Not
you
at all.
took the chance to go out and try it.
I got to travel a lot with some of my favorite people. So play music when I got there. So you really can't ask for much better than that.
I'm still waiting. What I want to see is a Ragged Jubilee tour across like the South, man. Like you guys jamming through like Texas and like Louisiana, Tennessee.
I would love to.
It's
mostly just about who will pay us
to
play there.
That's the ticket. Yeah.
I mean, like even if you get, you know, $100, that would be horrible. But even if that's all you got in each city, if you could guarantee that you got that $100, you could get to the next city at least.
Yeah,
you know,
your gas guzzling van. To
I
get
remember
from place to place with all your gear.
We've gone on a lot of tours. And each of them were kind of an interesting financial gamble, so to speak.
Right.
Where like you'd have some shows that would pay, some shows that wouldn't pay, some shows where a ton of people would be there and be really into it. Some shows where it'd be 5 people, but they'd be so into it that you got really into it. And it was, I don't know. It was pretty great time.
Yeah.
For me, like hearing a lot of music for the first time, seeing a lot of the country for the first time. I had never traveled before I went on tour with Ragged Jubilee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, mostly just around here.
I think I was 17, maybe 18 the first time we went on tour.
Wow.
I think I had to have been 18, I think.
What's the farthest you've ever traveled from home for a show, to play a show? Where's like the farthest way?
The furthest I've ever played a show from here would be New York.
Whoa, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't play while I was in London.
That's right. Oh, you just recorded. So you recorded in London. Yeah. Was that on the same trip? Did you were you on?
No, that was a different trip. I went. Let's see now. I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. 4th of July's ago now. I flew over there on
New Year's.
On the 3rd of July.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird thing because like I had never flown that far.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I think it was a 10-hour flight. And then when you get into London, it's like, I think I'd flown off through the night and I got there in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And all you want to do is sleep, but your body's all fucked up.
Yeah.
I think for me, that sucked about London was I would not be able to sleep one day, so I would stay awake for 30-something hours.
Right.
And I'd get myself so tired that I could sleep, and then the next day I wouldn't be able to sleep, because it's like, I think when it's the middle of the night over there, I don't remember exactly how it shook down, but when it's the middle of the night over there, it's like early evening here, maybe even morning. The change was pretty gnarly. Yeah. So I would get calls at random times from people, and what's going on, man? But, yeah. But New York, I played at a place called the Rockwood Music Hall. Oh. It was pretty sweet. It was right around the corner from the hotel I was staying at. Oh, in what part of the city? That's a great question. Oh, okay. I think I was... That's a great question. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah? Do you know,
I was
east or west of
I was
Central Park?
pretty close to. I was able to walk across the bridge from where I was at to. The hell is it called now, man? I'm blanking because It's the pressure is on.
What's the name of it again? The venue?
It was the Rockwood Music Hall.
Rockwood Music Hall. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to figure out exactly where it is. But so how many people showed up?
There was a decent amount of people there. There was a bunch of people playing that night. And
Yeah.
It seemed like it was almost industry night.
Oh, okay.
So, everyone is super exciting.
Nice.
On industry night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
Huh.
I'm going to think about what the hell that was. I was pretty close to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Williamsburg. Williamsburg.
Oh, okay.
Right across the bridge from there.
Okay. Right on. I'm gonna pretend like I know where that is.
Williamsburg is. I don't know. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice.
Like the whole New York was pretty rad to look at.
It is. It really is.
I didn't really have any cash while I was there, so I didn't have a lot to do. But it's cool. There was a girl that I was really good friends with lived there, so she kind of took me around to some of the sweet spots.
Yeah.
I went to a place called Katz. I believe that's what it was called. Katz Sandwiches. Katz. Yeah, Kats, something like that.
Huh?
Anyway, it was this Jewish deli, and pastrami sandwich out of this world. Insane. And spicy pickle with the sandwich, just like on the side.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. There's one time I went to New York. I remember I was walking from I think I was like in Times Square, and I was wanting to go to a B&H, like a photography store. It's like, I guess, the biggest one in the I think it's like might be their headquartered, like their main store, and it was such an interesting experience, man. Like I remember walking there, and it's like just such tourist mode. I'm just like I was just following this map, like just trying to follow directions that I had like looked up earlier or something like that. I'm walking down the street, and I look to my left. Oh, cool! There's Madison Square Garden. Anyways, keep going. New York is one of those places where you can just be wandering around and just stumble upon some landmark that you're like, oh yeah, I kind of knew this was here. I just didn't know it was here.
The tricky thing for me was the subway system.
Oh, a lot of
to
fun.
get around was a little bit to tackle at first. Yeah. The other thing that was crazy was I was there about the same time, maybe in the fall more. This was autumn, and it was so fucking humid in those subway stations, man.
Yes.
I'm standing down there, I'm sweating, I'm looking around, and there's dudes in suits or huge overcoats, and they seem to be fine with it, and I'm like, am I the only person I'm sweating like I'm on drugs?
Yes. Yeah. And they're kind of used to it, I imagine, but still, it's like, how do you deal with that? The East Coast, definitely, I've been plenty of times to Boston and Massachusetts and all that, and like rural parts of Massachusetts and Vermont and Maine. It's killer, man. The bugs, the humidity. It's definitely a totally different life. And then but I've never been there during like snowy times. I've never been there during the winter.
I hear that it's
always
really,
summers.
really, really fucking cold.
And brutal, yeah.
Yeah, harshly
cold.
cold.
Yeah, people romanticize it like it's like, like a Frank Sinatra song, snowy New York or something like that or whatever. But
I'm sure you get used to it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But, yeah, I think the worst humidity I've dealt with was in Arkansas.
Ooh.
I went to a place called Searcy, Arkansas.
Searcy?
Yes.
No way.
Like Queen Cersei.
Spelled the same?
I don't think so.
I was gonna be
I don't think it's clever like that. It was an interesting little place. Very hard to find, out of the way little town.
Yeah.
This was, I don't even know how many years ago. Probably like 4 or 5 was before my brother and I moved to LA.
Yeah.
And we were at the time delivering meat pie supplies for this guy that we worked for. We both worked doing like these meat pie renaissance festivals, and then we would like deliver them places. Paid great.
What? Whoa.
Fantastic boss.
Oh yeah. How were the meat pies? I'm sure you.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were great. When you did the like festivals, you didn't really want to eat them because you were making them all day.
Oh yeah.
You were like, hey, what the hell else is out there?
Right.
I want some of that. Give me a beer. Mostly give me a beer. But
speaking of, would you like a beer?
Yes, please.
I have one before you got here. So
Grazie.
we have a little catching up to do.
But yeah, Searcy, Arkansas. My brother and I were unloading this freezer full of meat pie supplies, and it's so fucking humid that we're in a freezer. We're standing in a freezer, and we're throwing these boxes out, just drenched in sweat. It's just so hot, and I'm standing in a freezer, and it's just fucking with my brain, and I just can't comprehend how it could be that sweaty.
Right.
And it was pretty much that until we got to Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a long drive.
Arkansas to Texas. Yeah, so on my cross-country road trip, what did we went from California, obviously. From California.
What do you mean?
Best place to start a road trip. Where did we go?
The longest place to start a road trip.
Oh, the worst part of this whole 16-state road trip was driving back through California. I was like, oh my gosh, we're this close. We're driving through through Vegas and then through all those.
Yeah, because that's a beautiful drive. By the way.
Normally, I don't mind it. I don't mind if we're going from here, where we are on the Central Coast, to there. That's okay, cool.
There's a lot of
bit into the
shitty
desert.
places in between.
That's true. Barstow.
What's it? New Cayuma? Nukoima? Whatever that fucking city is.
Kuyama?
Kuyama. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Kuyama. Whatever.
Right.
Anyway, places around there.
Oh,
it sucks.
Yeah.
When you're there, and you're like, I still got at least an hour before I'm back in town.
Well, we were coming off this high. It was was it 2 weeks? It had to have been longer. Was it 3 weeks? I feel like it was 3 weeks, maybe, if I remember correctly. So, started in California. First place we went, I think we stayed with friends in Arizona. We had friends in Scottsdale, near Tempe, Arizona. They lived in kind of college housing, so they had a pool, which is cool. But we had AC problems in Arizona. We were like, oh no, AC's not working. We got the AC worked on, I guess, in Arizona. Still, it wasn't working.
It's hot in Tempe.
It was, the whole South. Just going from there through
Flagstaff,
New Mexico. Flagstaff.
Nice there.
What's going on in Flagstaff?
Flagstaff is green, and there's trees,
really?
and rivers, and
oh.
Flagstaff does not seem like Arizona.
Oh, yeah,
that's why it's so nice.
Oh, okay. I'll have to remember that.
I know people that love deserts, and they're cool. I've spent some time in Joshua Tree, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
I spent time, Grand Canyoning.
Mm.
And that's radical, but I do not enjoy heat for a long period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely prefer cold over heat myself.
It makes me act very bitchy.
It's so damn hot.
Yeah, I don't like it. I get all snappy.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm probably the same way to a certain extent, but we were, I think, okay on this road trip. We were, all kind of in it together, kind of experiencing it all. You know, but so what we did? Okay, so through Arizona, then next day, New Mexico. We camped out, I think, in New Mexico, and then I think that day. So after we left New Mexico, which crazy bugs in New Mexico. Oh my god! Camping, we had this little lantern out by the campsite. All these freaky beetles and shit all crowded in. We were like, oh my god! What?
New Mexico's cool because the color is different.
It is.
It's
really
all
is.
Red rock and stuff.
Yes.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely a cooler. I think personally, it's a more interesting desert to look at.
Yes.
Arizona is very similar in parts of it. It's very similar to California,
right?
That deserty side.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of it's nothing new.
Yeah. And then so the next day, I think that's the longest stretch I've ever driven was from, I want to say, Santa Rosa, New Mexico. I think that was the name of it. All the way through northern Texas. We just drove we just drove straight. We stopped for gas. Bought a Creedence Clearwater CD at a gas station. That was it. That was Texas. We did nothing else. I don't remember. That's the state I probably remember the least of anyone is Texas. Just driving straight through it. I wish we had known about the in Texas you can legally, if you're a passenger in a car, drink.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it has to be in a brown bag or something.
Well, that's convenient. We definitely did that when we went to South by Southwest.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it was legal. Because we were certainly drinking as passengers.
Yeah, but I think I think that flies there. Texas is,
wow.
Don't mess with Texas, man.
Texas is an interesting state, although it sucks to drive through.
It does.
So that particular time I was telling you about, my brother and I going to Arkansas, we did that trip, I want to say, in 2 days, but it may have been 3. We went straight to Arkansas and back, just like doing shifts of driving.
Oof, yeah.
And yeah, it was interesting because we had satellite radio.
Oh, well.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
But with satellite, it's just like with any other radio. Like, there's some great songs.
Yeah.
And there's, no matter what genre you're looking for, there's some great songs, and then there's like, you know, and now the hour of Grateful Dead. Which, I mean, maybe that floats your boat, but it doesn't float mine.
Well, at least not for an hour. Plus, so, Grateful Dead's tough if it's not... I feel like the people who love the Grateful Dead the most can recognize that seeing that shit live, like with like the energy that they had back in the day, is the best way to see the Dead. I don't think a lot of the album recordings
Plus,
were all that.
I'm sure any show was fantastic when LSD was going around all willy-nilly.
Oh yeah, a little bias.
I would definitely go see them on LSD.
Oh,
I would see them now on LSD.
Yeah. What are they even called now? I think they're just called The Dead now, with John Mayer or something like that.
Oh, really? With John Mayer?
Oh, I don't know. Is it John Mayer? I think they have...
I know that in the 80s, they were it was Bob Dylan in The Dead.
Yeah.
Dylan in The Dead, too. I think my parents went to see
Yeah.
Which, I love Bob Dylan, but I do not like that. Dylan in The Dead isn't... It's weird, man.
It was a badass attempt at an album, for sure.
Conceptually adventurous.
Yeah. I just wonder, it's interesting that he was into them, but Dylan was always like a hard one to pin down. He was always trying different stuff. I feel like he could have picked almost any other band at the time to just rock out with.
I think it's equal parts a lot of things for him. Like, he really doesn't care that much if the band is tight, I feel like. Yeah. He's just trying to, it seems like sometimes he's trying to play along with the band.
Right.
And just kind of be like, all right, learn all the songs, and I'll do whatever I want to do. And then you guys will play the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which I can respect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was about the only person that was super stoked with his performance at the Mid-State Fair a couple years ago when I saw him.
This was like 2007, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was more than a couple years ago. It was definitely a long time ago.
Yeah,
I still have the shirt from it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah, I think a lot of us were there.
I thought it was a fantastic show. I like Old Man Dylan. He's super punk rock.
Oh, yeah.
I love his songs, too.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just as strong of a songwriter.
I think I have to say, and I've told a lot of people this, when you go to see Dylan, I feel like nowadays it's he is totally, and you wouldn't think so. You think he just, shows up, pops down, and just plays what he's going to play, and with the same energy that he was planning on. And maybe that's kind of true, but I feel like it totally is audience dependent on how into the show he is and on how... Like, if you go to see him, like, and it's an entire sit-down crowd, it's just like, okay, he's not really getting much of a reaction from the crowd. They're just clapping after songs, cheering or whatever.
Yeah.
If you go to see him in a standing room, like I saw him in 2007 when you said, again in like 2011 or 12 when I was living in San Francisco. That show was killer.
Where did you see him in San Francisco?
The Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, right by City Hall. It's a cool venue, man. It's like I got in line super early, and then was one of the first people to run in there, and it's all standing room. I think there's some like balcony too, but
sure, that show was outrageous. No, I agree with you. I think you're totally right. It's he wants audience interest.
Yeah.
I don't know how much participation he wants, but I definitely think he wants you to feel like he's playing to you, like you're there to see him.
Oh, yeah.
I remember thinking it was so fucking cool, though, when I saw him at the fair, he played like 2 or 3 songs on guitar. It was a shitty crowd.
Yep.
And so he sat at this piano that had its back to the audience. And then he just sang from there. I thought that was so genius. I was like, yes! Fuck everybody here.
Yeah. No, he's definitely got his own way of doing things, that's for sure. The time I saw him in San Francisco, he had a bunch of mirrors arranged on the stage. Just like facing, if you're in the front, you're like looking like mirrors, like looking at yourself. And they were just like kind of arranged in different ways, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funky. And I don't think I'd ever seen it. And then the third time I saw him, Santa Barbara Bowl, there wasn't really anything, I don't think he did anything like that, but I feel like I in the order of how much I enjoyed his performances, I didn't enjoy the Mid-State Fair one a whole lot. I was kind of far back. We tried to sneak up a little bit forward, but it was kind of like I wasn't even recognizing songs at all. The second one was pretty great. The second and third time, I think, pretty close, which is counterintuitive. I mean, everybody says, "Oh yeah, he's the worse the older he gets." But
well,
not
see, I don't know. To me, it's kind of what you're into.
Sure.
And for me, the main thing that I like is his songwriting style.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that he's progressed.
Oh yeah.
As he's gotten older, I think. Like, my favorite album of his is easily Time Out of Mud. I love that album.
Yeah.
I love Oh Mercy, though. I've loved a lot of his later records because he just sounds so fucked up when he sings to you. It's like raw emotion, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
I just think it's so cool.
Oh, same.
I would... It reminds me of, like, when you listen to Son House. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but how it's just raw emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And the song is just pure and true, and it either goes right through you and you can feel it, or it doesn't, just like any other song.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. For me, though, I just like to listen to what people are saying and why, and kind of the wordplay and people's... It's interesting, people's lexicon.
Yeah.
You know, the words that they choose to use or the way that they choose to say
Totally.
things.
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating from a songwriter perspective.
Oh, and it's so much fun considering a lot of people have different interpretations of different words, and different usages of words and all that. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what certain artists for me kind of stand the test of time, are ones where it's like I can listen to that song once and then again like a couple years later and be like, oh, I didn't even think about that the first time I listened to this song. You know, it's like it has a whole new meaning now that I listen to it again. It's I think it's dependent on your life experiences and all that, what you go through. You know, like the woman that broke your heart or something like that, and in the song. You know, at one point, and then 5 years later, you're like, "Oh, you got a new woman in your life that broke your heart." No, yeah, look at it that way. Something along those lines.
I think that's really important for why it always kind of like bums me out when I hear somebody say, "And this is what the song is about."
Right?
I wrote this song.
It's so not needed.
I was sitting in my car and I was starving, and I wrote this song about social equality and justice for all. And it's like, that's great and all, but maybe the song had more meaning before.
Yeah, right?
And that, like, your meaning is shitty comparatively.
No,
so
Dylan's been good at that, playing his cards close to his chest, and people ask, "What's the song about?" "Oh, it's just a song, man. I don't know."
But it is just a song. Like I think.
But you're trying to galvanize this whole generation and trying to be this leader of this.
I think
no, man, it's just a song.
Anybody that's making any sort of art should be trying to do that in one way or another, at least for themselves.
Oh yeah.
You know, you should be challenging yourself at least. So. Things don't need to be crystal clear,
right,
all the time. You know.
Oh, it's true. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I've tried to resist asking you. I think about a lot of songs or different lyrics or whatnot. You have told me a few of them, which is interesting. Like listening to songs off of what's that album? Go through your albums. Shit.
We had the self-titled one was the first one.
Yeah.
Which I think was also called On the Mountain if you bought it early enough.
Right. Not in the Valley. The one.
And then American Moan was
that one. American Moan. Yeah. Those were so like I was introduced to you guys somewhat like around that period. I think like when around that album came out. I had friends that, like, I was trying to think about this, like, yesterday. I was like, I don't even fucking remember the first Ragged show I went to.
Yeah, it's hard. It's funny, too, because that's how I know you. It's just from, like, talking to you at shows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think we kind of knew each other and had mutual friends back in the day through just kind of, like, hanging out in the village and stuff like that. And I think we saw each other, but weren't really friends. And then, when I started showing up to your shows, yeah, I mean, it was just, like, I quickly jammed with the music for sure. It's so much fun to dance to and all that, just back in the day. And then getting to know you guys and talking to you guys. I'd kind of known Phil a little bit too. And then, but yeah, no, it's
It's interesting to bring up the village because I was thinking about that. Whenever I see, Eric Soderquist, right?
Where would I know him from?
Eric he comes to shows a lot. He usually hangs out with Donovan. He's got like long, I don't know. You'd know him if you knew him. Yeah, anyway, he's a painter. He's an awesome guy, artist. But whenever we talk, we always kind of like reminisce about the village and how like so many different people like found art just by like because I was a village rat with a lot of my friends like Philip and Paulo and stuff. Oh yeah. Or we would hang out and like we would busk or we would like look for cigarette butts or whatever it was. Like, just hang out somewhere other than your
Right.
house.
Scrounge up change, just go buy some French fries somewhere so you can hang out at the restaurant.
Exactly. You know, I think for a while, Philip's older sister, Karen, worked at Village Grill.
Right.
So we'd go in there and we'd get, like, free French fries.
Ooh.
It's fantastic.
Ooh.
But, I mean, so there was always something to do, and, you know, you'd go and you'd smoke cigarettes or you'd smoke a joint or something.
Yeah.
Like over by the Gauge or under one of the bridges
Gauge.
or something like that. You
Oh,
know?
dude, I don't know if I've told you this. So one time at the Gauge, wow, it was a big group of friends and I. We were trying to smoke some weed, and we had nothing to smoke out of. We had a lighter, we had weed, we had nothing to smoke out of. Nobody had a pipe or anything like that. And sorry, Mom, I know you're listening. We found
my mom doesn't know what podcasts are. That's great.
My mom doesn't either. Like, my mom probably won't hear this. So, but anyways, we found a can right by the creek, man. We picked it up. We're like, oh, cool, we'll use this. Poke some holes in it. Start smoking out of it, and we're done. We like smoke. You know, we're all kind of stoned, hanging out. And I pick up the can and look inside it. We had literally like 5 or 6 of us had all just torched this potato bug that was inside the can. It was black and crispy, my friend. It was disgusting. I don't know if I've ever been more grossed out. I don't get grossed out that easy, but I was like, I had to tell my friends, guys, we just smoked a potato bug.
Dude, that makes me think of 2 things.
We're going for a loop.
You should ask Aaron Wick about his potato bug story.
What?
He can tell it a lot better than me.
Okay.
But I guess he used to live in his parents' garage, and I guess potato bugs are bad in Napomo. And so this one day he's laying down in his
Everything's
bed.
just a little bit worse in Napomo, isn't it? The coyote situation, the potato bug situation.
The entertainment situation.
Yeah, I love you, Napomo, but man.
I'm calling you out. So I guess he's laying down in his bed and he hears this like scratching noise. And he like feels his ear and there's like something like trying to get into it. And so he like throws it and he turns on the light and I guess it was potato bug. Now he does not like them. But it's funny. I just had to get that story out. It's funny.
I'll ask him about it later.
It's funny. I remember this one time I went down to the Gauge. I went with this girl and we went over there and like the water was really high. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I was probably like maybe I was 18 or 17 or something like that. But we wound up jumping into the water. So we jumped into the water in full clothing, and I remember having to walk back to Grover Beach for some reason soaking wet. Bad memory.
Yeah, that couldn't have felt good. Oh, jeez.
No, it definitely hurt between the thighs.
Oh, yeah.
Jeans aren't meant to be walked in.
Oh, no, I'm sure. Wet denim.
Oof. Bad. It's bad.
Ouch. Yeah, man. I feel like what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. I never quite finished my road trip story. So I'll just run through the states that we did, I think, in the proper order. And I'm bringing it up again because I just felt like there's just like your band. I feel like just the energy would that would totally vibe in some of those southern states.
Yeah.
Like even if it be financial thing or whatever, trying to figure it out. Like I feel like you guys could show up and fucking and bring something special to.
I think it would be.
South.
I think it'd be extremely cool.
Yeah.
To hit. At least Tennessee. There's Memphis. I've been to Nashville. I didn't get to play while I was out there. I was kind of bummed about that, but Nashville's amazing. Memphis is sweet.
Yeah.
Anywhere in like Missouri,
anywhere
in Mississippi area, New Orleans would be cool.
New Orleans would be rad.
Even just getting to play in Texas was badass.
Yeah,
it seemed like people were more into the blues,
They are,
or at least the idea that you were doing something that isn't like L.A. power pop, like
something different.
It seemed like you at least got props for having an instrument and being able to play it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Where did we even? I feel like we stopped and listened to some music on our way there. It was a pretty quick road trip, but I want to say it was 3 weeks. So yeah, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. This might be started getting out of order. Oklahoma. We camped in Oklahoma. So this is the first place I ever saw fireflies. That was pretty badass. I don't even remember after that. I think we cruised through Arkansas. We stopped in Tennessee, and then Georgia was where we stopped, and then we turned back around. We spent a few days there. Went to Birmingham, Alabama, and stayed with a friend. Dude, as soon as you hit the border in Alabama, they have such lax firework laws that there's just firework stands littering the borders of Alabama as soon as you drive into it. It's badass. You can buy. We pulled up, I feel like in the morning, and there was one that was open. We were just like, oh, cool, this is where we're getting our illegal fireworks for the trip.
That's something I haven't thought about in a while.
Yeah.
When you're crossing borders state to state, there are some states that are really cool and easygoing, and there are some states where they just employ assholes.
Yes. This particular road trip, we didn't have a single border crossing where we asked any questions. Whatever the route we took, there's just none of that.
See, that was usually while we were on tour, we had that luck.
Yeah.
But there have been times where I've been driving, and I think it comes down to A, who's in the car, and B, what kind of vehicle you're driving.
Yes.
But I've definitely had some shaky encounters.
The only time we had any, let's see, so we stopped in, what was it? Yeah, Georgia, turned back around, then we shot down to New Orleans through a couple states. Oh yeah, through Alabama, stopped in Louisiana. We drove through as we were driving from Mississippi into New Orleans. It was thunder and lightning. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
On the bayou, and then
listen to some Creedence there, boy.
yeah, hell yeah, that live Creedence album, we played that thing to death. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that CD got played to death. I think we were so sick of it by the end of it. It was just such. It's funnier because it was live too.
Were you guys doing the Lebowski? Were you hitting the side?
yeah. No, pouring beer all over ourselves, trying to put the joint out in our lap. No, it just crashes. It's so funny.
That movie's still so fucking good.
Oh, that's my favorite. I think still. It's to nauseum. If I watch it with someone for the first time, they're like, "How the hell do you know all these lines in this movie?" It's like anything else. It's just I've seen it so many times and memorized it. Louisiana. Gosh, I feel like I'm gonna leave some stuff out, but I think we went back up to Tennessee. We wanted to go to Sun Records or Sun Studios.
Yeah.
Got there, they had already closed, so we were pretty bummed about that. But then Memphis, and then we shot over through like all the middle states, man. So like Kansas. We dropped a friend off in Missouri. We camped in like.
Have you ever been to Denver?
Yeah, we stopped in Denver on the way on this road trip, but it was
Denver
really quick.
Bitchin'.
It's just a gas stop for us. It's just so unfortunate. I wanted to spend
love
more time
Denver.
there. Yeah, it seems
Every
cool,
time
man.
I hung out in Denver, I wanted to just stay there.
Oh yeah.
There's so many cool people there.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know some really awesome folks there. We toured there.
Oh wow.
Done some work there before.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are. It seems like people were really just nice and hospitable and
Oh yeah.
welcoming. You know.
I wonder how it's been changing with the weed tourism there.
I'm sure it helps.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Everybody's nice and friendly because they're stoned.
Well, everybody's stoned everywhere, but I feel like in states like
True.
in Washington and Colorado, where it's just like no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it besides the federal government saying it's not cool. But what are they going to do? You know, it's like. You know, it's I just feel that level of acceptance just adds to the chillness of the location.
Well, I definitely like being able to smoke weed wherever the fuck I want.
Right?
It's a rad feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
While Zach and I were working, I think we did a show in Estes Park, which is in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
It's badass. It's where The Shining was written.
Oh.
It's way up
Where's
in
it
the
written?
mountains. Yeah,
By Stephen King?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
so fucking cool,
Whoa.
man. So there's this hotel. I believe the hotel's called the Overlook, but that might be from the movie.
I think it's from the movie. I think it has a different name in real life for sure. But yeah.
Don't remember what it's called then.
Yeah.
But in the distance, so where Zach and I stayed was at these YMCA cabins. And now, when we were thinking, we're staying at the YMCA, we were like, this is gonna fucking suck.
At the Y.
It is insane. The YMCA there is like all these wooden cabins and this like giant like. It's like a log resort. It's pretty outrageous. You see like bears and elk and shit like that walking around. You're like, where the fuck am I?
Oh, right. At the Y.
But so we were on our way back and we're driving in this truck and we got our stuff in the car and this axle on the truck breaks, just like, and the guy's car that we were in knew somebody in Glenwood Springs, had a shop. It was the weirdest fate.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Knew somebody there and was like, he can help us out. And so he got in touch with this guy. We're talking the middle of the night. It's probably like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And the guy's like, yeah, I mean, we can get it fixed, but I got to take you into Denver to get the part. Like,
right.
I don't have any axles like that.
Yeah.
So we end up staying at a hotel. We wake up first thing in the morning. He's like, all right, I'm going to Denver. I'm going to fix this shit. I'll let you guys know when I come back. And so we pretty much just had the day to fuck around in Glenwood Springs, which I guess is where Doc Holliday died.
Oh.
Which is a sidebar. Awesome. There's a bar there called Doc Holliday's that we spent a lot of time
Was
playing.
it a car crash he died in?
No, Doc Holliday was like Western. He was like, Val Kilmer in Tombstone.
Yes.
He's Doc Holliday.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
And so, badass bar.
Yeah.
Great bar. But anyway, they had this, I think it had just been legalized. It was a couple of years ago. And there was this old Victorian house. And it just had the green cross out front. And I was like, what is this place? Ran in, I had just been paid. I was like, oh my God. Went in, I got some of the fattest joints. I think I got 3 fucking huge joints. Huge like my fingers are huge. Except for they were
and
like
your fingers
twice as long. They're just these huge joints.
Yeah.
I think I got 3 for like $10.
Ooh.
And I remember just walking down the street and puffing on a joint and nobody cares.
Yes.
It's incredible. It's the world I one day want to live in.
It's the world you can live in now. That's the crazy thing, is you can just go there and live there and do that now. It's really cool.
I like California too much to move somewhere else.
Right? Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I should sidebar that with I also hate California.
Yeah. yeah. No, I mean it's.
But it's something beautiful to look at.
It is absolutely. I feel like I appreciate California every time I leave California and then come back after a little while. I'm like, oh man, yeah, it does feel a lot like home. But
well, there's also a comfort and understanding, I think, too. Like, I understand. That was something I realized in any of the other countries that I've gone to. It's like, I understand Americans. And that's something that I realized, like, the more I've traveled around the United States, it's like, I understand Californians. And I don't know that I like that. But it's interesting because when you're around, like, a different not type of people, but, like, people act the same in major cities around the world, but in a different way.
yeah, I can see that.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like I've noticed that too.
It's interesting to kind of like navigate through.
Yeah. I think, and also I'm coming to find, like when I was in New York, I remember feeling like, oh man, all the stereotypes I've ever heard about New Yorkers being assholes is kind of bullshit. I mean, they're all kind of like in their own little world trying to get from A to B. And, I mean, but if you sit down and you like just chat with somebody, like I chatted with this elderly woman from Jersey the last time I was there, like on a bus or something like that, going from somewhere to somewhere, and I was like, oh, where do I go to get pizza? And she's like, oh, you're not from here. I'm not gonna try to imitate her accent, but she's like, oh yeah, no, you just Little Italy, obviously.
You gotta do the Futurama. Yous guys, that's the New Jersey. Yous guys don't know.
Yous guys gotta go to Little Italy. Nah.
That's add an ass to everything.
No, but yeah, no. She's like, yeah, just go to Little Italy. Obviously, that's where all the good pizza's at. She's like, you can go. She's like, you can go to like the original, the United States' very first pizzeria, and I did that. When I
didn't
there.
eat any pizza while I was in New York. I was only there. I think I was there for 3 days, maybe 4. Yeah. I was in Manhattan the first and second day. And I think the last 2 days I was in the Hamptons.
Oh, well.
It's not as classy as it sounded. I mean, the Hamptons is nice, but
I can't even picture it. I don't even.
The Hamptons are nice. I mean, that part of New York is super cool.
Yeah.
I was still broke, so anyone listening, don't get any illusions like I'm living high life or something. I wasn't wearing a polo and I didn't have a sweater tied around my shoulders. So.
In the Hamptons.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. No. I don't think anybody would. So yeah, okay, so we have this we have your show coming up this Friday.
Yes, sir.
The
18th
of
August. The show starts at 7:00.
We've got some openers, some
great openers. Christian Cortez is going to start off the show.
Woo!
which I guess
Bob.
he's full band now, which I'm super excited to hear.
He's a full band man?
Yeah.
Oh, who is it?
He's got Derek Woodruff is playing drums, and I'm super excited about that. Derek's rad.
Yeah, he is.
And then Tristan Wildy is playing bass for him.
No way.
And yeah, I wish I would have known he's playing full band. I would have probably made him like support. It would have been cool to see. I'm excited about that.
Totally.
So Christian's playing. Sean Clark and the family band is playing.
Always a good time.
Yeah, they were rad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure most people listening have heard them.
Yeah.
If they haven't, Bryneth is just glorious on the pedal steel.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's where I first saw Brenneth, I think, was playing.
His fingers be gold.
his fingers be gold and it produces gold.
And then Eager Seas, formerly Lakes.
Oh, right.
So they're gonna play as well, and that will be cool. I guess it's their first show in a long time, so that'll be exciting.
I feel like it's the first show of theirs I've heard of in a while. Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. And then we're releasing this vinyl, Pyramid Scheme.
Pyramid Scheme.
To the Earth. It is 11 songs. Yeah, it's going to be cool. I hope people dig it.
11 songs. Let's see here.
We'll play one now, mayhaps.
at the end of the cast, or almost there, I think. There was something else I was going to ask. Oh, not to bring it up, but isn't there? I heard that there was a typo on the vinyl, which is kind of special in its own way.
There's two. So to anybody listening, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo type of a deal. If you can find them and let me know what both of them are, you might get a high five.
Oh,
but you might not.
But yeah.
Odds are I'm just going to be saddened by the fact that it's so noticeable. You can blame this negligence, this horrible negligence, on Joshua Brinkerhoff.
Thanks, Josh.
And by proxy, Neil Breton.
Thanks, Neil.
Neil, you douche. I'm just kidding, Neil. Just kidding.
Hey, it's
to Neil's mom. I love Neil. He's great.
Yeah, spelling's tough, man. I have problems with it sometimes too. Yeah, but okay, cool. So yeah, we're gonna play out the end of this cast, the podcast without a cause. I'm glad I remembered the title. Yeah, podcast without a cause. I'm gonna try to be doing an episode here or there. Most people when they're making a podcast, I would say would want to have some kind of like some intro song, some kind of graphic maybe for their
I'm working on that intro song.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ethan wants to do my intro, so that's going to be incredible. Yeah, most people would have like an actual like foundation for a podcast before they jump into making one. No, ladies and gentlemen, I literally just turned my, I'm recording this on my iPhone. I have some sexy recording equipment sitting on the couch right next to me that I haven't set up yet, so I apologize for the quality. If it was kind of hard to hear some of this, I'm going to try to, work on that in post, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. Ethan's got a booming, commanding voice. I'm sure he's pretty easy to hear.
Check. One. Sibilance. Sibilance.
You know New York. You need New York. You know you need unique New York.
The Human Torch was denied a bankload today. The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
Oh no, brown cow. Oh no, brown cow.
Andre! I love my
Andre! So I feel like yes, it'll be much crisper in the future. Thanks for bearing with me on that. I don't even know what it sounds like. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so we're gonna play it out. So what's the song we're gonna listen to at the end here, Ethan?
This song is called "Kill," and it is off of Pyramid Scheme, the new album by myself and the Ragged Jubilee.
And it is what song on the album?
It is the fifth song.
Song number 5.
It is the last of side A.
Ooh,
of the vinyl.
Ooh, closing out side A strong with "Kill." I've heard it I think a few times live. It's been a little while, but looking forward to hearing it again. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Ethan, for being here. This has been cool.
Thanks for having me, my friend.
I'm sure I'll have you on again in the future to for whatever reasons. Game of Thrones cast. I think or more talks about Game of Thrones are probably incoming. apologies. I'll probably put a disclaimer somewhere of the
Spoilers.
the massive amounts of spoilers from the last episode. Yeah, if you're unable to listen to this because of those
if
spoilers,
you're not
I'm sorry.
watching Game of Thrones currently and you call yourself a fan, you deserve to have it spoiled for you.
Exactly.
So
yes.
that's how I feel about that.
Yes, that's accurate. I'd agree with that. But yeah, so okay. Thanks, Ethan. Thanks everybody for listening, and this is Kill.